Hello guys, my name is JaredH4 and today we're going to be checking out my JaredH4 Modpack, made for vanilla plus creative, survival, building, servers, whatever. Just basic, simple vanilla additions that improve the vanilla game slightly. Hope you enjoy. To make this a little simpler, we've split it up into 5 different categories: visual mods, social mods, quality of life mods, performance mods, and library mods. Hope you enjoy. And let's get started with the visual mods right now. Alright, to start out, we have 4 different mods to do all roughly the same thing, and 1 cool resource pack that I definitely think you should try out. First of all, we have CIT Reshown. This basically allows you to put custom textures onto items really easily, similar to how mods like Optifine does it, but much more compatible with other mods. This allows me, in my resource pack, to put these little icons on the paintings. These supposed to be the same painting, I don't. Alright, next up we have Continuity, which basically is just connected textures. I have the built-in connected textures spec, which connects stuff like glass bookshelves. Makes it look a lot nicer, especially when you're working on builds with a lot of glass. You don't want the lines going in between glass. And finally, we have 2 mods that work together to make the resource pack work. We have entity model features and entity texture features. Both of these allow to change the textures and models of entities, which allows the fresh animations resource pack to work without any mods like Optifine. It's very useful if you can't actually run Optifine because of the other mods you have. Really makes all the creatures in your world feel much more alive, and I think it's a pretty good resource pack to have in your world. Next up we have Iris, which does nothing by itself, but it does allow you to enable shaders, which basically change how the lighting works in Minecraft completely, giving it much better visuals. I use shaders in most of my time-lapses. It is a bit more laggy when you do this. You do get less FPS and worse performance, but the visuals are definitely worth it, at least in time-lapse, if your computer can't run it normally. But if your computer can run it normally, then you can have shaders whenever you want, really. Alright, next up we have the JaredH4 Plus resource pack made by me. I redid the pumpkins to give a more classic jack-o'-lantern style. I think this looks very nice. The target block has been changed so these corners are a block. This allows it to look really nice against hay. This looks like a round circle instead of the normal square. Yeah. I also have these painting item textures, which was done by Gray's block. We have these overhauled GUI, made it slightly more round, and gave more shadow to these. I think this looks really nice. I've done all the different menus. I highly recommend you check this one out. I use it pretty often whenever I'm playing Minecraft. Next up we have the No Fog mod. Normally this mod would be used to remove fog from everywhere, but I don't really think that fits in as well. So I've used it to remove all the nether fog, giving much better vision in nether. You can see much further than you could normally. That is, if it renders in. There's, as you can see, there is no nether fog, which I think is a pretty good change, especially if you want to be able to see structures and stuff easier in the nether, and it also makes your builds look just a little bit cooler when they're in the nether. Next up we have Not Enough Animations, which basically gives a couple more animations to the character. As you can see, I'm holding a map. You can actually see the map item in my hand, unlike you can normally. Also, changes how it looks when you're climbing up ladders, so you're actually climbing up ladders. Here, I'll show you better with this. Yep. Bye. Bye. It's confusing. Climb up the ladder. You can see, actually, better fizzles when you do that. By the way, the camera detaching is part of camera utils. We will be covering that in a moment. Next up we have present footsteps. I'm probably not doing a good job of showing this off. There is a much better example of it. I linked in the corner. Up. Wait, hang on. Hang on. I can do this. I can do this. This. Give me a second. Right up there. Yeah, go click that. Click that if you want to see the footsteps. Not. Next up we have the resource pack checker, which really basically just makes double checks if you have the resource pack before you join the server, so it doesn't re-download the resource pack every single time you join a server. This is really useful if you're playing in a server which has a resource pack and you don't want to have the download time every single time you join the server, which has happened to me before. Next up we have Circlebox Tooltip, which basically just allows you to press Shift and see what's in there. You can press left Alt and Shift to see what's exactly in there. Really useful, especially in survival worlds if you have a ton of shulker boxes and you don't want to look through every single shulker box every single time you want to find an item. It makes that a lot easier. This should be in quality of life. I don't know why it's under the visual section. So just pretend pretend we're on the quality of life portion. Next up we have vanilla tweaks, which is basically just what this mod pack is, just in resource pack form, in the way that it has a ton of small changes to vanilla game to help improve it. As you can see, there are a ton of different options, and you can pick and choose which ones you like, and download that as a resource pack for your use in your vanilla game. I have linked my personal settings for vanilla tweaks in the description if you don't want to take the time to pick and choose which ones you like. Very useful resource pack. That's about it. Next up we have the social mods. The first mod up is the Capes mod, which basically allows you to see capes from Optifine, who's doing a horrible job at showing this off, because I don't actually have an Optifine cape. This is the vanilla cape given to people who had Bedrock Edition before Java Edition came with Bedrock Edition, basically. So, I can't really show this one off as I don't have an Optifine cape, but by default it has Optifine capes, and you can enable it to show capes from other mods too if you want. Next up we have the Ears mod. This mod basically allows you to customize the skin a bit more than you can in the normal vanilla game. See, I've taken 3 skins and upgraded them with the Ears mod. I think this definitely improves these skins. And, as a bonus, it also manages to backport 1.9 plus skins to 1.8 and lower. The skins work a bit differently, and they don't actually have the extra 3D layers. Next up we have the No Chat Reports mod, which basically removes the chat reporting feature from the game. It adds these 2 buttons which allow you to configure the mod, and you can pretty much leave these alone. If I go... No, wait, hang on. I'm going to take a flare probe. Give me a second. There. If I open the reporting menu with this mod, the chat reporting button is now gone. Definitely useful if you play on a lot of servers, especially ones with a lot of people, and if you don't want your chat to be reportable, you can just have this mod. Next up we have 4 mods all by Sim Creator. First, status mod, which allows you to set your status. It's used in the Hermitcraft server mainly. It was made specifically for that. Basically, when you press tab, which I can't do because I'm in a single player world, when you press tab, it gives you the option to set your availability and your recording. It's useful if you record, stream stuff. It also gives this feature, which is no sleep. Click this and it will give a warning to anyone else with the mod that you don't want them to sleep. It's useful definitely in multiplayer servers. Next up we have the voice chat mod. This allows you to basically have proximity voice chat. Okay. We also have the voice chat interactions mod. This basically means that if I grab a scope sensor, then if I turn on my microphone, make sure this is all working. Hello? Hello? It's not all working. Basically, if I... hello? Hello? That works. Open. Activate. No more. Well, basically what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to activate scope sensors stuff if you speak near them. It's cool. We also have the audio player mod, which basically is to grab a music disc and, well, create a custom music disc, which can be played in jukeboxes and will play the sounds you pick. This only works with the with people who have the voice chat mod, and the voice chat mod does need to be installed on servers for it to work, which could be a problem unless you're hosting a server yourself, in which case you'd probably just well, it should just be working. So, next up we have the quality of life mods, which will start out with the camera utils mod. This mod you saw a little bit of earlier, which is camera detaching, which is not allowed on some servers, so you may want to remove this mod from Modpack if you're playing on Hypixel or something. Actually, you probably don't want to play with this mod Hypixel anyway. I have a custom PvP Modpack for that, which you may be seeing a little bit later. But basically, the camera utils adds a couple things. It also adds a zoom animation, which is kind of amazing. Just slow zooms into your face. Creates really dramatic moments. You also have this zoom, which you can just zoom in and out. But I do also have just this zoom, which I'll be covering in a minute. Next up we have the chord finder mod. This is made by the same person who made the voice chat and audio player mods. Basically, as chords, you can set place, home, set the coordinates, and chords get, nope, list places. Oh, I set a couple ones there. Chords, place, home. And I'll give you the coordinates to home. Really useful. Next up we have the global packs, which basically means that the data you have a folder. You can put data packs into a folder, and it will enable them in any world you create. I use this for vanilla tweaks data packs. If I want a lot of the data packs to just be in all of the worlds, I can just put it into global packs and it will automatically add them whenever I create a world. Next up we have dynamic lights, and this is not a good place to show off the dynamic lights because it's currently middle of the day. So if I just set time set midnight, let's go midnight. As you can see, it's completely broken. Wow, that's just well, I glow, but nothing else does. Interesting. It appears to be having some issues. Well, basically what it's supposed to do is we'll just place a torch to demonstrate this. You hold the torch, and it's glow around you. Obviously, you wouldn't be standing on the torch on the ground, but you get the idea. Next up, we have language reload, which basically allows you to quickly change the language. Let's say I wanted, oh, I don't know, UK. No, what is it? English, United Kingdom. Let's say I want this language. Almost instant. So the long reloading process, it almost instantly does it. Next up we have logical zoom, which you probably saw before. It's just a zoom. This is it. It's the same. Zoom is Optifine basically, but without Optifine. So useful. Especially if you want to see something far away. The best part is it combines with camera utils, and you can zoom really far in. Like, look how close that looks, and then it's that. It's not far away. It's not far away. It's amazing. Next up we have the replay mod, which basically allows you to take replays. For example, this floating island one, which I used in my last video. Then, I'll pause it. Go toward the beginning. I set this up to where it follows a camera path. You probably saw this at the end of time-lapse if you watched the last video, but basically what it does is it allows you to create a camera path, which the camera will follow, and you could use it to create time-lapses. I use it to create all my time-lapses, and you can also use it to just have cool renders of builds, I suppose. Also allows you to go back and double-check stuff if you want. If you're playing a server or something that's kind of useful, if someone's hacking or something, you can go see exactly what they were doing, or you could just check out what you were doing previously. Really cool. A better tutorial of the replay mod is linked. Hang on, wait, no, I can't go in creative, can I? It's linked in the corner, just here. Should be linked here. Just click it. It's by Pixel Riffs, and it's the tutorial I used. Next up we have tooltip fix, which basically fixes the problem where tooltips would go off your screen entirely by just creating a new line. It does not work when they are too tall from all the enchantments you put on something. In that case, you probably just have to go to UI scale, just switch it to lowest. So you can see, next up we have Worldedit, which is really fun to use, especially for building. It's really helpful. Just do set diamond block. I use this for almost any time I'm building, especially in creative. It's really useful, as you do a ton of cool stuff. Like, there. That was so much easier, wasn't it? Oh no. Oh, no matter. This is definitely the fastest way to do this, isn't it? Yeah, the fastest way to do that. And all seriousness though, it is really useful, especially for large scale builds like this. Build specifically was copy pasted using Worldedit. Quite like this build. It's not available in the description download this time, but could be at some point. Next up we have just a couple performance mods. Basically, we have entity cooling for core indium, krypton, lithium, sodium extra, sodium options, and starlight. All of them optimize the game in different ways. Entity cooling does it by removing entities. You make it so you can't see entities behind blocks, which you may be thinking you can't see entities behind blocks anyway, they're behind blocks, but basically stops them rendering. Just takes up the game engine more. Core does miscellaneous memory stuff. I don't exactly know what it does. It basically just gives makes Minecraft take up less RAM. Then we have indium, which is built for sodium. Gives sodium have some compatibilities with other mods. Then we have krypton, which does something with stacking or something. I'm not entirely sure, but basically game one faster. Lithium does stuff with game run faster. Again, sodium changes the rendering engine. Also gives you sodium extra, gives you the options for sodium. It's really good, and sodium also allows you to use iris, which is useful for with shaders. You also have Reese's sodium options, which was probably what you showed off. And starlight basically changes how light works, just make you more optimized. Then, last but not least, we have the library mods, which are basically mods that the other mods require to load. We have Cloth Config, Fabric API, Fabricating in Scotland, Mod Menu, and yet another config lib. That's basically all the library mods we have. It's not too many, especially considering all the mods I've already mentioned. Modpack is available in the description if you want to go check this out. If you want to play some upgraded vanilla, I highly recommend this. It's very useful for just vanilla survival, vanilla creative, even though it's not technically vanilla. It's vanilla plus, but it doesn't add anything. It works with servers as well. I also have a PvP Modpack if you want to check that out. It's called Jtech. I'll show you a little bit of that right now. Scratch that. Apparently, it's not Jtech. I was thinking of the resource pack. The resource pack for this version is Jtech, which adds this cool stuff. Got a couple decks in the inventory. Deck, Crackers is this deck. Hipsweek is this deck. Ranger is this deck. Cayuga deck was out. Resource pack is available separately from the Modpack, obviously. If you want to try it out, it's on Modern and Planet Minecraft. Modpack's available on Modern. 1.8.9 Modpack only contains a couple mods. Let's see here. Central mod, this is only, I have everything disabled, and I do mean everything disabled. It's a library mod. The replay mod, obviously. All GG basically taps GG at the end of the game automatically. Next we have the Chroma HUD. Then we have the Ears mod, which I already described earlier. Hypixel autocomplete, which top completes for Hypixel commands like sus. See, sus fly. Oop. There went that. That's probably went that on. There's firework. Yep, 15-second delay. Sorry, guys. Then we have the Keystrokes mod. No, wait. What's Chroma HUD then? Oh, that one's this stuff in the corner here. See? Currently held item. That's that stuff. Keystrokes. Spell word. There we go. There they are. See? Cool. Cool. You can see I'm getting 50, 60, 70 FPS. This actually runs much faster than vanilla, which is really useful. I also have the level head mod, which is disabled at the moment. It just shows the player's level. I found this one a little bit buggy. Nick Hider, which basically Nick Hider creates this thing where you can hide your nicknames. It's useful if you're streaming or something. Hides your nickname or it hides our players' names. I haven't really used it except for fun. Then we have the non-off updates, which is for Skyblock. If I do let's play Skyblock, see, bam, there we go. You can see it has the stuff tab, inventory menus, all this from non-off updates. Oh, this is the island, by the way. Yeah, bit disappointing at the moment. If you want to check it out, let's visit, I believe it's Ranger Overlord. Yep. It's island. If you want to check it out, you can go visit, I suppose. And then the final two mods were, Patcher, which basically adds miscellaneous stuff, and Scrabble tooltips, which is basically only for Skyblock, because these really long tooltips, just scroll up a little bit. It's really useful. I've been using Patcher for one specific purpose, which I think it keeps chat between lobbies, which is really useful. I like that. It has a ton of customizable features. You can check out by typing /patcher in the game. There's a ton of stuff. Actually, now I think about it, there's a better video back to the corner. You really want to check out the what the mod has. The videos made by the creator, so they obviously know what the mod has. I also believe I have Optifine. Yeah, I do have Optifine. I wouldn't have Optifine because Optifine has been working for later versions, but it is stable. It works well enough with other mods in this version that I've been using it. There's also absolutely no replacement. The first mod pack is for Java Edition 1.20.1 at the moment, but soon 1.20.2 once all that stuff releases. I do have to wait a little while between the release of mod packs because I have to wait for Minecraft update, then every single mod to update, then I can update my mod pack. I do update the resource pack a bit earlier though, if I remember to. That is, sometimes I don't. this mod pack I don't really ever need to update because this mod pack is permanently stuck in at 1.8.9 for now. I think that's all. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me get rid of this armor. What? No. What? What the? What on earth? Okay, the F1, don't. The press F1 will home the young dragon armor. Good to know. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this mod pack is useful to you in some way. Thank you for watching. See ya.